Hello everyone, welcome back once again for the course Electrical and Electronics Measurement. In this session, we are going to discuss about Kelvin's various methods to find out the low resistance value. So let us see one by one the different methods. Let us start with Kelvin's bridge method. So if I compare this circuit diagram of Kelvin's bridge, which is similar to the Wheatstone bridge, is it correct? So Kelvin's bridge method is a modification of what? Wheatstone bridge, and it is meant to measure low resistance accurately, whereas in case of Wheatstone bridge, the low resistance cannot be measured accurately. So with the help of this Kelvin's bridge, we can measure the low resistance accurately. So if I compare this circuit, the Kelvin's bridge, it is similar to our Wheatstone bridge. But the provision, if you look at this portion of the bridge, we can observe over here. So there are 3 points given. But in case of Wheatstone bridge, so these provisions were not given at all. Okay, so let us see the importance of having such a modification to the Wheatstone bridge. So as we know, there are 3 points over here, namely M, D and N. So all these 3 points ultimately connected to where? It is connected to the galvanometer. Okay, so let us represent. R is represented by the resistance of the leads that connect the unknown resistance R, capital R. So this small r is nothing but it is represents the resistance of these leads which is connected to this unknown resistance, that is capital R, and capital S is nothing but the standard resistance between the point M and between the terminals M and N. Is it clear? So when galvanometer, now suppose, now let us consider, so the galvanometer is connected to point M. So what will happen? When galvanometer is connected to point M, the resistance R1 is added to the standard resistance. Okay, so when it is connected, so now suppose, imagine, so this point is connected now, so which means these points are not connected to any arms of the circuit. So the entire resistance, these entire resistance will get added to what? The standard resistance. So if it gets added to the standard resistance, the resistance added to unknown resistance will be very less. So it is represented over here. So the resistance indicating too low value of unknown resistance. Okay, which means the least resistance will be connected to our unknown resistance. Now suppose if the galvanometer's point is connected to the point N. Now what will happen? So this entire resistance, the resistance R1 and R2 will be get added up to the unknown resistance. Okay, so due to this, what will happen now? The unbalance will be created. Obviously, it will be unbalanced. So due to that, what will happen? The current will start to flow through our galvanometer. Okay, so there are two methods, and another method is what? If it is connected to the point D. So let us see what will happen if it is connected to the point D. Okay, now suppose if it is connected at point D, no, it is connected. So the galvanometer, let us think that the galvanometer is connected to the point D. Now both the resistance, this unknown resistance, right? It will get divided into two resistances, that is R1 and R2 equally. They are divided equally. So these two resistances are nothing but it will act like an ratio arms. So ratio arms P and Q. Okay, so these are nothing but the another set of ratio arms. R1 and R2 are what? Another set of the ratio arms, which can be represented as R1 divided by R2, which is equal to P divided by Q. So there are two sets of ratio arms we are going to have in the Kelvin's bridge method. Okay. Then the presence of this resistance, lead resistance connecting causes no error in the result. Okay, so after that, if it is connected to this point, point D, so now what will happen? So unknown resistance will have another set of resistance, that is R1 will be in series with what? This unknown resistance. So R1 plus small, sorry, R plus small R1, which is equal to the S will be get connected to what? This another set of resistance, that is R2. So S plus R2 into the ratio arms. The ratio arm is represented by P by Q. So let us consider this as equation number 2. But as we know, from the first equation, small r1 by r2 is equal to what? P by Q. Is it correct? So according to that, it can also be rearranged like this. So can I rearrange this entire equation? R1 by R2 plus 1, P by Q plus 1. So if you further simplify, ultimately we are going to retain the same equation, right? So that this one and this one will get cancelled. So there is no harm arranging your basic equation like this. So now take out the LCM R2. So if I take out the LCM as R2 in LHS side, so what we are going to get? R1 plus R2 divided by R2. Similarly here we are going to get P plus Q by Q. So now let us find out the value of this small r2. So small r2 will be equal to what? So it will be reciprocal over here. So this entire term will be reciprocal. Q divided by P plus Q into this entire term R plus R2. So R1 plus R2, as we know, from this given circuit diagram, R1 plus R2 is nothing but total lead resistance R. Now let us see the further simplification what can be done. Okay, so as we know, R2 is equal to what? From the earlier equation, R is equal to what? R1 plus R2. So if we rearrange the term, so we are going to get R2 is equal to P by P plus Q into R. So let us consider this as equation number 3. As we know, R1 plus R2 is nothing but the total lead resistance, small r. So R1 plus R2, we already found out the value of R2. Right now substitute in this equation Q by P plus Q into R, which is nothing but R. Now rearrange the term. So R1 is equal to, now take this entire term to this side. So it will become plus to minus. So R minus Q divided by P plus Q into R. Do the further simplification. R1 is equal to, take R as a common over here. From this term, take small as common. So if I take small r as common, what we are going to get? 1 minus Q divided by P plus Q. Now take P plus Q as an LCM over here. So R R into P, so P plus Q will be multiplied with this one. So P plus Q minus Q divided by P plus Q. So these two Q will get cancelled. So what we are going to get? R1 is equal to P divided by P plus Q into R. So let us consider this as equation number 4. Let us see further simplification. Okay, so now substitute both the equation, the value of R2 and R1 in equation number 2. Okay, so if we substitute both equation of 3 and 4, we are going to get this equation. So R plus P divided by P plus Q into R, which is equal to P by Q into S plus Q divided by P plus Q into R. So what is our ultimate aim? To find out the value of unknown resistance. So the unknown resistance R will be equal to what? Now take this entire term to this side. So it will be what? Obviously it will, the signs will get changed. Is it correct? So before that, first multiply this entire term. So P by Q into S. So P by Q into S plus P by Q into P. So it will be what? P into Q divided by Q into P plus Q. So these two Q's will get cancelled. So now take this term to this side. So it will be minus P into R divided by P plus Q. Now do the further simplification. So P by Q into S plus P by R divided by P plus Q minus P into R divided. So these two terms, what will happen to these two terms? Yeah, they will get cancelled with each other. So ultimately we are going to get what? So unknown resistance is equal to P by Q into S. So this is from this equation what we can conclude is that by making the galvanometer connection at point D, the resistance lead does not affect any result. So if we connect the galvanometer resistance at the point D, so we are not going to change any resistance value over here. Is it clear? By connecting at the point D. So now let us see the another method, that is Kelvin's double bridge method. Okay, so this is the circuit diagram for the Kelvin's double bridge method. Here in Kelvin's double bridge method, in method there is a, we are going to use another set of ratio arms. Okay, so that's why it is named as what? Double bridge. Okay, so in this method what we are going to do, we are going to use another set of ratio arms. So ratio arms is represented by what? Capital P and capital Q. So we are going to use another set of ratio arms and they are represented by small p and small q. Okay, so the first ratio arms are nothing but to capital P and Q, second ratio arms are nothing but small p and q value. To eliminate the effect of connecting the leads, the resistance R is connected between these unknown resistance capital R and standard resistance. So to eliminate the effect of leads, we are going to connect these unknown resistance, small resistance in between these two resistance value. As we know, we consider two ratio arms, those are P and Q, so which are made equal to each other. So both the ratios of P and Q are made equal to each other. Let us consider the bridge is said to be in balance condition. So during balance condition, no current will flow through the galvanometer. So if no current flows through this particular galvanometer, then the voltage between the point A and B will be equal to the voltage between the point A, M, D. So that is nothing but it is represented by these voltages. EAB will be equal to EAMD. Okay, so this is when during the balance condition. If during balance condition, what will happen? There will be no flow of current through the galvanometer. So due to that, the voltage between the point EAB will be equal to EAMD. Now according to that, we need to find out the voltage values. Okay, so EAB is equal to what? According to our Ohm's law, voltage will be given by what? V is equal to I into resistance value. So here through this branch, the I1 is the current flowing through this branch, and this its resistance value is given by what? P. So according to that, EAB will be equal to what? I1 into P. So let us consider this as equation number 1. And I1 can also be found with the help of the voltage value. So I1 is getting divided at this point, right? So as we know, current is equal to what? Voltage divided by resistance value. So the voltage at this point, point A, will be equal to what? From this point to this point. So that is nothing but EAC divided by the total resistance between these 2 points. So that the current I1 is passing from this point to this point. So there are two resistors are connected between these 2 points. They are P and Q. In what fashion they are connected? Obviously in series fashion. So P1 plus P plus Q. So that will be the total resistance between point A and C through a path of the current I1. Okay, so according to that, the equation now it will become equal to what? EAC, that is the voltage between the point A and C, nothing but EAC divided by the resistance P plus Q into P. Okay, this now rearrange the term. So I will rearrange the term over here. So EAB will be equal to what? P divided by P plus Q into EAC. Now let us consider this as equation number 2. So here we need to find out the value of this EAC, right? So EAC is this one. So what is the flow of current through this point? Yeah, that is current I. So the total current I will be equal to the sum of the resistances. Okay, so there are uh, so I will be I into unknown resistance R plus standard resistance S plus these two resistances are connected in parallel with this small resistance. Is it correct? So some of these two are connected in what fashion? In parallel fashion with this resistance. So according to that, P1 plus Q into R divided by P plus Q plus R. So which is represented over here. So if you want to simplify any two resistances which are connected in parallel, that time what we are going to do? So suppose R1 and R2 are connected in parallel with each other. So from parallel formula, what we are going to write? R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Similarly over here, the P and Q is connected in series with this resistance in parallel condition. So according to that, we are going to apply the parallel rule over here. So if we simplify it, we are going to get this form. So P plus Q into R divided by P plus Q plus R. Now substituting this, the value of ES in equation number 2. Okay, so that is P by P plus Q into I and this entire term. So let us represent this equation by 3. Okay, so next voltage is what? The voltage between point A, M, D. So we need to find out the voltage value of EAMD, right? So EAMD is nothing but it is equal to the voltage between these 2 points, that is EAM, and the voltage between the point M and D. So EAM plus EMD. So the current flowing through this resistor is I. So I into R1, sorry R. So I into R, that is the voltage across this resistor, plus the flow of current through this resistor is I2. So V is equal to what? I2 into resistance value. So I2 into the resistance value is over here is small p. Be careful. We are going to represent this another set of ratio on by small letters. So small p. So I2 into small p. So I into R plus. So now let us find the I2 current I2 value over here. So this is the simplified version of this sub circuit. So it will look like this. So the current flowing through this point is getting divided into I1, I2 and I3 like here. Okay, so this I2 will be equal to, with the help of current division, which we already studied in our basic electrical. So if you recall it, with the help of current division, so current division rule is meant wherever if we don't know the value of voltage. Okay, so we don't know the value of voltage between these 2 points, right? So for that reason, we are going to use the current division rule to find out the value of I2 now. So according to the current division rule, so I2 will be equal to the current flowing through the opposite resistance, that is IR, divided by sum of all the resistances P plus Q plus R. So here I am going to represent I2 with the help of this current division rule. So that is IR divided by P plus Q plus R into capital P. Then IR plus, if you simplify it further, so we are going to get in terms of voltage as I into P plus Q into R divided by P plus Q plus R. So now we are going to represent this entire term with the help of this voltage value. So if we substitute over here, so these terms will get cancelled. Ultimately we are going to get only Vmn into P divided by P plus q. If you further simplify it, so I into r plus vmn is nothing but this value, right? Now substitute the value of this I instead of vmn. Okay, so I p plus q into r divided by p plus q plus r into p divided by p plus q. So this p plus q, this p plus q will get cancelled. So we are going to get I into r plus p I into p into r divided by p plus q plus r. Now let us take I as common over here. So if I take I as common over here, what is left over? R plus pr divided by p plus q plus r. So now let us represent this as equation number 4. Okay, so under balance condition, as we know, the voltage between point A, B will be equal to the voltage between point A, M, D. So we already found out the voltage values of EAB and EMD, right? Now substitute, equate each other. Okay, so after equating each other, the current I will get cancelled. Now simplify it further. What I am going to do over here is that I am going to take this entire P by P plus Q to this side. So if I take this, so what will happen? It will get a reciprocal over. So P plus Q divided by P will be multiplied with this entire term. Okay, then this entire term will be retained like that. Now simplify it further. Now multiply this R with this entire term. So R plus S plus P into R divided by P plus Q plus R. Then once again R is multiplied with Q. So Q into R divided by P plus Q plus R, which is equal to, I will take LCM over here. So if I simplify it, we are going to get what? 1 plus Q by P into the, I'm going to return the another term as it is. Now simplify it further. So what I am going to do now, I am going to multiply this entire term with this value. So R is multiplied with this one entire term, and then respectively Q by P. So R plus this entire term P Q divided by P plus Q plus R plus this entire term with this respective. So R into Q by P plus Q into P into R divided by P, take a small p as a common, bring into the bracket. So P into P plus Q plus R. Now simplify it further. So these terms can be cancelled now. This entire term plus this R value. So do the simplification, further simplification. So what I am going to do now, I am going to take this entire term to this side, so that I can calculate the value of this unknown resistance. So R will be equal to, now if I take this term, it will get reciprocal, P by Q. This entire term will remain same over there. So S plus QR divided by P plus Q plus R. So I will, if I take this term to that side, what will happen? It will get minus, so minus QRP divided by this entire term. Then do the multiplication, P by Q multiplied with this entire bracket. So P by Q into S plus P by Q into this term minus P by Q into this term, so that Q will get cancelled, P and P will get cancelled. Next, so after doing simplification, we are going to get this term. So after getting this term, so I'm going to take QR divided by P plus Q plus R as a common. So if I take QR divided by P plus Q plus R, I'm going to get here what is left over? P by Q. So P by Q. Here in this term, what we are going to left? P divided by small q. So P by Q, as we know, under balance condition, as we are having two set of ratio arms, they are equal to each other. This is when under balance condition. So under balance condition, both the set of ratio arms will be equal to each other. So which means this entire term will be equal to 0. So 0 is multiplied with this term. So it will also get converted to 0 only. so that the unknown resistance R will be equal to P by Q into S. So this is the final solution to find out the value of unknown resistance with the help of Kelvin's double bridge method. So if you are having any doubt in the Kelvin's double bridge, please feel free to ask. Thank you. Thank you everyone.